Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS producer Sydney Bowles, BNEWS reporters Tad Stefanak, Robert Paris, Chris Flaherty, Veris Conley, and making his reporting debut, BCAT volunteer Carter Ames. Anthony Matos with sports, Peter Brown with the weather, and Gretchen Carey with the community calendar. Thank you for joining us. Burlington is putting together the final details for the annual town meeting, which begins on the evening of Monday, May 13th. Every town meeting is an important one, but May is often particularly impactful, primarily because of financial articles, capital articles, and this May is no exception. The 35 warrant articles cover everything from the town's $176 million budget to routine financial transfers to significant investments in the future of the town, like the proposed new Burlington Police Station and zoning changes to bring the town into compliance with the MBTA Communities Act. We can't get into every article here, and in fact we have already covered some here in the previous weeks, but I encourage you to read the full warrant on the town's website, burlington.org. But bear with me, we're going to cover some of the major ones now. Schools. In addition to the school's 2025 budget, fiscal 2025, which comes in at just under $80 million, the town meeting members will also vote on a number of capital projects for the 6 school buildings. Those range from $261,000 for HVAC repairs at the high school, to $113,000 for critical building system upgrades at Marshall Simons Middle School, to $322,000 for a Phase 2 investment in air conditioning at the Pine Glen Elementary. Some eyebrows may go up at the price tag for an article the schools are cooperating with Parks and Recreation, which is an expected $6.7 million spend and likely bonding on field renovations for Marshall Simons Middle School. As we've discussed here on BNEWS Weekly, the Department of Public Works is asking for $1.2 million to replace the filters at the Mill Pond PFAS treatment plant. As you know, the EPA reduced the allowable limits to 20 parts per trillion, making the town replacing those filters every year instead of every year and a half. Town meeting members will also see regular articles here like funding for stream cleaning, as well as a request for $400,000 for a traffic light on Wynn Street and Mountain Road. The Parks and Rec Department is also making a major ask, $2.3 million for a renovation at Overlook Park, which they hope will be partially reimbursed by a federal grant. More on that in the future episode of this program. Town meeting will vote on the $46 million police station building project. The police and fire departments are asking for a number of new vehicles, including a fire command car and a $1.2 million new fire engine. There's also a request for a utility task vehicle, or UTV, to operate in hard-to-reach areas. Here's Fire Chief Andrew Connerty speaking with Select Board member Micah Speo in this.
It's basically a dual-purpose, actually multi-purpose vehicle. It has a rescue component to it where we can carry a victim out from the depths of, say, the landlocked parcel or the Mill Pond Reservoir, both of which we've had victims that had to be carried out manually. Will it get us directly to the patient? No, but it will get us closer. And, you know, it's quite trying at times to carry people long distances. So this will help both the patient and hopefully reduce injuries if our guys have to carry someone a long way.
Yeah, I was looking at this article pretty closely, and I think it's a great idea. Any tool we can give you to save, get to a tough area or save, minutes or even seconds could be the difference between life and death. And I'm surprised we didn't have one already. Like, what would you do? What were you doing for this? Like, just having guys carry guys out of the woods?
Yep.
Next up is zoning and general articles. A major source of discussion at town meeting is sure to be Planning Director Liz Bonventre's plan to comply with the MBTA Communities Act. That's the effort to add zoning and overlays on some existing multifamily parcels and one current commercial area to allow for more multifamily high-density housing without changing the character of the community, allegedly. And lastly, a general article would change the town clerk position from an elected position to an appointed one. It's a jam-packed agenda, and I'll be here next week with your rundown of how it all went. In other news, the Select Board this week approved an increase in the fee for parking for handicap spots violators from $200 to $300, the maximum allowed under state law. The last time the amount was raised was 2011. Here's Disability Access Coordinator Chris Hannafin on the subject.
We're not trying to get greedy here. We just think that it is about time that the town allows the handicap parking fine to increase from $200 to $300.
Funds from those parking tickets go towards improving quality of life for people with disabilities in town. In fact, the Select Board also approved this week a spend of $6,000 from the fund for a contract with a voting machine for people with disabilities. The police department has made some promotions within its own ranks. Sergeant Detective Kevin Doherty has been promoted to lieutenant, and Detective Sage Costa has been promoted to sergeant. Doherty served as the Technology Service Administrative Sergeant before his promotion. Sergeant Costa joined the department in 2007 and has served as Technology Service Detectives since 2021. Congratulations to them both. Burlington will mark National Public Works Weeks beginning May 19th. It's something the town has done for a number of years to acknowledge the often thankless work done by the staff of the Public Works Department. Here's Select Board Member Sarah Cawley.
Thank you for all you do in the DPW. I know it can sometimes be a thankless job. You might hear more complaints than you do praise. So I think this is a well-deserved week to recognize what you all do over there.
Thank you.
If you've ever been to a major sewer line break, you can understand why thanks is necessary. Municipalities are frequent targets of cyber criminals, and so the town back in 2020 established a committee to strengthen its cybersecurity defenses. Now that Information System Security Advisory Committee, or ISAC, is looking for new members, ideally members with backgrounds in IT or cybersecurity. If you've got that background, get in touch with Kim Piggott in the Office of the Town Administrator to register your interest. She can be reached at selectboardstaff@burlington.org. May 5th is known in Israel and abroad as Yom HaShoah, or Holocaust Remembrance Day. Then Burlington's Temple Shalom Emeth marked the solemn occasion this week. BNEWS reporter Veris Conley has this story.
On May 3rd, the Temple Shalom Emeth held a service in remembrance of the lives that were lost during the Holocaust in honor of Holocaust Memorial Day on May 5th. For the event, Stefan Haim Clement, accompanied by his wife, Shalva Clement, was asked to speak about his experience about what it was like being a part of the Jewish community during the Holocaust.
I was 9 at the time when alone I made the dangerous and frightening escape and met my mother at the train station. German SS and police officials, assisted by Slovak fascist paramilitary unit, deported about 12,000 Slovak Jews to Auschwitz.
We followed up with Stefan, as well as Rabbi Susan Abramson, and some of the other members of the temple about their thoughts on the service.
It was quite exciting for me to share my story and to explain what it really was for the people that went through the Holocaust. It may be difficult to comprehend for people who just read about it. Maybe my story could be more personal and acceptable.
It's so important to have this reminder every year of the horrors of the Holocaust, to keep it forefront in our minds, and particularly what's going on today. And we see tidbits of what happened in Germany, seeing the anger and the hate which is being spewed out by certain people in certain contexts at this very moment. it really reminds us of the beginnings of the Holocaust and how vigilant we need to be and how we need to stand up to anybody who is starting to go down the path of anti-Semitism.
It's really important that we remember, because there are people who pretend it didn't happen, who want to say it didn't happen, and it almost wiped out all the Jews in the whole world. And it's something that keeps coming back. Anti-Semitism and Jews being scapegoats comes over and over and over again. I think it's important that we remember that hatred of other people and of the other is not going to survive if we keep doing that.
This is Varys Connolly from BNEWS.
There was also a more joyful commemoration in town this week, a Burlington church marking half a century of community. Chris Flaherty takes us there.
Heritage Park Baptist Church in Burlington commemorated its 50th anniversary on Saturday, May 4th. The evening was filled with testimonials from parishioners past and present, including Colleen Moore, the church's longest parishioner.
Heritage Park is the hinging point of everything I do in my life. There isn't anything that I do that does not have some point and link to this church.
Moore dedicates her time and talents every Sunday to recording and live streaming the church's services.
We started off with just a regular one-camera shoot, and then BCAT was good enough to give us some more professional equipment, and then we moved on into live streaming during COVID, and the rest is history there.
The night's guest of honor was founding pastor James Edge.
My wife and I moved here in 1973. I just had a goal as a young man to come and establish a church, and moved here for that purpose. When we arrived, we didn't know anything and anyone, and just started with absolutely nothing, and we've seen the Lord provide and do things in an extraordinary way.
I was a student at Boston Baptist College back in the early 80s, and Pastor Edge came, preached chapel, and I had this thought, I think I could work for that guy. And didn't think more about it. And then afterwards, maybe a year later, same thing. He came, he preached chapel, and I thought, yeah, I could work for him. We had never met before. And then I got word the next year that he was looking for a youth pastor, and I started in '84 here as the youth pastor, and the rest is history.
50 years later, Pastor Edge is thrilled to see Heritage Park grow from a simple storefront in Burlington to what it is today.
I'm humbled to see it. You know, it's an amazing thing that's taken place, and just to see it today is exciting to see the people that are here, to see new people that I've never met. There are people that are here that have even surprised me that they would make the effort. Some of them have come from a long distance and different parts of the country, and some have even come in from other countries just to be here and celebrate with us, and that's a humbling thing to me.
Pastor Edge hopes Heritage Park will continue to grow in the years to come.
I look forward to seeing what happens next. I think the church will continue. It has a great foundation and great opportunities, and looking forward to see what happens in the days ahead. And hopefully the same things will be taking place, and the gospel will be presented, and lives will be changed, and we'll see some great things taking place.
Until next time, this is Chris Flaherty for BNews Weekly.
The newest fashion retailer at the Burlington Mall is Balanistas, a local store for women who want to look their best. Here's Ted Stefani.
The Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce has cut the ribbon on yet another local business in the Burlington Mall.
What I have here is the outfit for all ladies. That woman who wants to go from day to night, that woman who would like to go to work but still be chic at the end of the day to meet with the girlfriends for cocktail hour. The pieces that I carry as well can be casual. You can throw a pair of heels or anything, like it doesn't matter, jeans or pants or dresses. We have to still show the flower in us as women. So we are a flower. We have to show how delicate we are and elegant we will always be. Once upon a time, starting working here at the food court, Well, back when I first come to the U.S., so I own a store in here, be a retail. Has a retail in here. That means so much to me. So I appreciate the opportunity they gave me to where I am right now for Simon Mall to support all locals.
It is grown to be quite a thing here at the Burlington Mall with local small businesses. I think she makes it number 30 that's here. So the days of the mall being all those big retailers, that's changed, and you can really help support local business by supporting the businesses that are here.
I'm from Haiti, but I would like all of you not to think I am that woman that come from Haiti. I'm here as the woman who's here to help other women to progress, to want them to be that woman they always wants to be. A small business inside Burlington Mall. I'm forever grateful for that.
From Bellenistas in the Burlington Mall, I'm BNEWS reporter Tad Stefanak.
First Night, the latest production from the Burlington Players, opens this weekend. Let's go to Robert Paris for a behind-the-scenes look.
Put your video cassette in your VCR and hit rewind, because we are going back to the Betamax. The Burlington Players are presenting their spring production of First Night, a romantic comedy by Jack Neary.
I love this play. I've known the author. I've actually played Danny in a stage production years ago when I was the actual correct age. It's a love story. It's a very traditional love story about not giving up hope of sometimes you find the right person and they will find their way back. It starts off a little antagonistic, considering they haven't seen each other since they were in the 8th grade. One's on a mission to fix things, and the other one's on a mission to keep the status quo. So by the end, they hash out their differences and realize they were both in the same space.
I spoke to the main cast, which is consisted of 2 actors, including Ethan Selby as Danny Fleming and Rebecca Healy as Meredith O'Connor.
Danny is a little lost in life, and he just kind of fell into this job working at a video store. I myself, Ethan, I'm a huge movie buff, so this has actually been a dream of mine to work in an actual video store, so very lucky to have it actually come true.
I play Meredith O'Connor. 20 years ago, she left the 8th grade to go off to become a nun. And at this point in the play, in 1985, she is back because of a fleeting moment she had with someone in the 8th grade. And she has come back and rethinking some of her life choices and ready to reconnect with that someone.
Since I was at a video store, I had to ask the cast and crew what their favorite movie was.
Oh, I already know. It's Back to the Future. And we don't have the poster here hanging, but I did bring my own poster. It's going to be in the lobby. So
my favorite movie is Mean Girls, the classic Lindsay Lohan movie. It's just hysterical.
Every Star Wars film, which is very true, but other than that, I have to lean towards Shawshank Redemption.
Andrew hopes audience members will take home a special message from watching this production.
The audience comes away with a lot of entertainment, hope about love, hope about not giving up, and following your dreams.
You can get tickets and showtimes at burlingtonplayers.com. From Jack's Video Rentals, the Park Playhouse, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
I think I've said all I want to say.
7 talented historians from the Marshall Simons Middle School are taking their research skills to the national level. And a middle school journalist is here to tell their story. Let's take a look at reporter Carter Ames' First News production.
National History Day is a nonprofit organization that runs an annual competition where students in high school and middle school create presentations involving a specific theme.
And this year it was Turning Points in History. And students are able to select any topic as long as it fits that theme. And it really gives them an opportunity to dive into a topic that they may not otherwise learn in school.
7 members of the Marshall Simons Middle School have advanced to this year's national finals. The finalists spoke on their projects.
I did an essay. I chose my topic, the smallpox vaccine, because I feel like it is very influential since we still use vaccines to this day.
I did an individual documentary, and my project was about the radioactive 1912.
I made a website. My topic is Rosalind Franklin's role in the discovery of the structure of DNA.
Students are excited as preparations for the finals are underway.
So first, for the state competition, I've revised my project a lot. So there's a lot of preparations to make with the due date coming up, and we have a bunch of revisions and also planning like the trip, but I'm so excited for the trip.
Faculty advisors John Carroll and Barbara Sturtevant are hoping that Burlington students return home victorious from the NHD finals in Washington, D.C.
We always have a few kids going, but it would be nice to see like some of us get in the top spots. Not that going to nationals isn't anything either. Like, you know, it's a lot to get there. But yeah, it's just nice to be way up there. And,
It's the last thing that we have not yet accomplished.
Yeah,
we
it's
have
like it's the next
much,
rung on the ladder.
and that is
We're
the
just,
very last thing, is to hear or see one of their names or their projects called, because that will just, you know, it's really just come alive.
Yeah.
From Marshall Simons Middle School, this is Carter Ames for BNEWS Weekly.
We'll be looking forward to many more Carter Ames productions in the future. Now let's turn to Anthony Matos for a look at high school sports.
Hey everyone, I'm Anthony Matos, and this is your weekly sports report. It was a very jam-packed week of action for BHS Sports, so let's hop right into it. A few months ago, we brought to you a story about the girls' ice hockey team being nominated in the Poland Spring Ice Runs Deep contest. The company presented the program with the Team of the Year trophy for the Women's Division II. We want to congratulate the team on a successful season. Girls softball is 9-6 after a 9-3 win over Watertown on May 2nd. The team lost to Tingsboro on the 4th, 14-6, before getting back in the win column against Melrose. We go to those highlights.
It was senior night at Marvin Field for girls softball as they took on the Melrose Red Raiders. In a lopsided affair, the Devils got off to a hot start with a 10-0 lead. Melrose got on the board because of a successful double steal attempt, making it 10-1. Burlington tacked on 3 more runs, making the final score 13-1. After the game, head coach Kristen Farrell commented on the senior day festivities.
It's just really nice to have, you know, a day where the seniors go out and have some fun and hit the ball, and it felt good to have a nice warm day and to have a win for the seniors. Love that. It's always a good day when the seniors win on senior day. Alyssa did a great job on the mound, and our defense was pretty solid today, so that was nice to see. The pitching for Melrose, we just had to adjust to a little bit, and we did, you know, second, third time through the order, they made some really good adjustments and hit the ball.
As of this taping, the team will compete with Wakefield on May 9th. Updates next week. After losing 5 straight games, Burlington Baseball has won 3 games in a row, including 2 this week, against Reading and Melrose, 3-2 and 5-4 respectively. Their record stands at 6-7 and will be in Wakefield on the 9th. Updates next week. Girls lacrosse won 3 games in a row, moving their record to 9-5 this season. Against Woburn, they won 18-8. Against Wakefield, they won 13-8 and 15-4 over Winchester. Burlington will host the Wilmington Wildcats at Varsity Field on May 13th. Boys lacrosse continued the win streak after a 16-5 win over Woburn Memorial on May 3rd. And here are the highlights against Wakefield.
On a breezy day at Varsity Field, the boys Lax competed with their Middlesex League rival, the Wakefield Warriors. The game was a lopsided affair as the Devils scored 7 goals in the first, Wakefield had 2. In the second quarter, Burlington added 9 goals and the Warriors added 1, halftime 16-3. Burlington finished it off in the third with another 5 goals while the Warriors added 3. The final score, 21-6, Burlington.
The streak came to a halt after the team lost to Winchester 14-11 on May 8th. Burlington hosts Wilmington at Varsity Field on the 13th. Girls tennis went 1-1 this week after a 4-1 win over Reading Memorial on May 3rd. The winners in the Reading match were Mason Alonji, Sonali Patel, Jules Piscatelli, Alessia Pedruzzi, Phoenix Mahoney, and Therese Kaczynski. Burlington lost 3-2 over Watertown on May 6th. Winners were Alonji, Piscatelli, and Pedruzzi, and the team is now 7-4 as of this taping. The meet against Wakefield Memorial is still to be played. Boys tennis won back-to-back matches against Reading 4-1 and Watertown 5-0. In Reading, Pathak, Andrew Pearl, and Shaw won in their singles matches, while Sony and Jumont won in their doubles matches. Sophomore Austin Lee won first-seconds doubles match in his varsity debut against Watertown, and Burlington improves to 7-4 and will be at Wakefield Memorial on May 9th. Updates next week. The girls and boys track teams both competed with Wakefield on April 30th. The girls lost 77-59, while the boys moved to an undefeated 4-0 after an 82-54 win. Top finishers for the girls were Hope Hannafin, Cora Laverty, Lucy Clement, Lacey Lauder, Kaya Cummings, and Audrey Londino. The top finishers for the boys team were Dylan Giles, Colin Irwin, and Sean Cox. As with this taping, the meet with Stoneham is underway. Updates next week. Boys volleyball is 6-7 after going 2-0 this week, with wins over Framingham and Belmont by a score of 3-0. Winchester High School is next up on May 9th. As with this taping, the game is still to be played. Unified basketball is 3-0 after wins against Melrose, Watertown, and Stoneham. Burlington will be in Reading on May 13th. For more Red Devil action, go to bcattv.org/sports and check out our Twitter page at BNEWS Sports. That's all for now. I'm Anthony Matos. Back to you guys in the studio.
And now let's turn to Peter Brown for a look at the local forecast, and stay tuned after that for your community calendar with Gretchen Carey.
Hello everyone, this is Peter Brown, Coach. Weather for the next 7 days. As we start our period on Friday, our average high should be up near 70, and it is going to be a lot colder than that out there. It is going to have a late winter-like feel to the air as you step out of the door on Friday, unfortunately. As we round out the period, getting in towards May 16th, we should be seeing temperatures again at this time of the year in the low 70s, and it's going to end out the period pretty much around there, a little bit cooler than that, I think. So we go ahead, let's take a look at the Climate Prediction Center is calling for us in terms of temperatures and precipitation for the next 7 to 10 days. And looking at our temperature map, they're expecting us to have above average temperatures. As I'm seeing it right now, I'm not sure if that's really going to materialize at all. We might have some average to slightly above average temperatures as we get towards the middle of next work week, but it doesn't look like there's going to be any knock it out of the park real warmth out there as we go through the next 7 to 10 days. And looking at our precipitation chances, they are expecting us to have above average temperature, above average precipitation, and it does look like that is going to hold true as we're going to see a pretty showery and rainy weekend, and we may see those chances of showers continuing through much of the work week. So let's go ahead, let's take a look at those 7 days of weather coming up. And again, starting out our period on Friday, looks like the entire weekend pretty much is going to be just about a washout. We may be able to eke out maybe a little bit of sun out there as we get into Sunday when our temperatures get back up into the upper 50s, still well below average. Again, look at that. Starting out on Friday, I don't think we're going to make it out of the 40s on Friday, and we're going to have a pretty stiff breeze out of the east-northeast, meaning we're probably going to have wind chills down into the upper 30s on Friday. So bundle up, folks, and that is going to continue on Saturday where we see temperatures barely crack 50. Now, as you head back to work on Monday, it looks like those shower chances are going to stay with us. Temperature's going to rebound a bit up into the mid-60s, and then as we get into towards Tuesday and Wednesday, sun is going to come out. It's going to get up into the maybe even upper 70s, perhaps, as we get towards Wednesday. But thereafter, it looks like we're going to see some showery weather come back in on Thursday with our temperatures being knocked down a bit, down near normal, down into the upper 60s to around 70. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.
Hi, I'm Amy Poehler, and you're watching BCAT. Go Red Devils!
Hey everyone, I'm Gretchen Carey, and this is your Community Calendar. On May 14th from 7 to 8:30 p.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having a Zoom event called He Now Belongs to the Ages, Lincoln Assassination. For more information and to register, go to the library website. On May 17th from 6 to 9 p.m., Burlington Women Aid is having a Sip and Shop party at Neat Repeats Consignment in Groveland. Come enjoy a lovely evening sipping, snacking, and shopping with your friends for a wonderful cause. For more information on the event, go to the following website. On May 18th from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., the Burlington Board of Health will be having a Household Hazardous Waste Day at the Fox Hill Elementary School. For a list of materials to bring and not to bring, go to the following website. For more community calendar events, go to bcattv.org, burlingtonpubliclibrary.org, and burlingtonrecreation.org. I'm Gretchen Carey, and that was your Community Calendar.
As we do every week, we're wrapping up the show with a photo sent in by a member of the community, and this week the BCAF has kindly humored me. I sent in this picture of the interior of a tulip that struck my fancy. We'd love to highlight your photos of life around town. Email your images to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. One last plug for your weekend. The Sculpture Park is hosting its first event of the season, a collaboration with the School of Rock. If you've got a kiddo who's interested in music, or older brother or sister, bring them to the Sculpture Park around 2 p.m. this Saturday for a rollicking good time. That's our program for this week. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Phil Gallagher. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.